We can
AEW.
talk about that.
No, of course not.
You didn't watch it. I thought you said you were gonna watch the pay-per-view.
I didn't watch it. I didn't even watch SmackDown yet. How long is the pay-per-view?
4 hours.
So what do? You left your house to see it with some friends?
AEW.
Yeah.
I watched it at a friend's house. Yeah.
How many friends were there?
2 friends and my friend's son and daughter.
Okay, what are your friends' ages?
40. They're 45-ish, 45, 46.
Right? And
Yeah.
the kids?
10 and like 7 or 8.
Do they
And the
like to rate
rest-
the matches with stars?
They were pretty into the blood. I can tell you that, but they knew some of the guys from WWE, and they liked the dog collar match especially, and everyone kind of left the room during the girls' matches, even the girl.
Right?
Yeah, but I actually left before. I didn't see the main event. I saw the rest of it because by the time the main event started, everybody was falling asleep. So
There's just too many matches, and they're all long matches, bro. It's not a good recipe. It doesn't matter if they're all good. It's just too many. You know, it's like watching a good porno for 4 hours. Like, you're like, all right, dude, 1 hour of this is pretty good already. What do I need to see 3? I mean, I'm a big proponent of, I really am, of crowd fatigue.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, I mean,
once you're tired, you just want to leave. You're not interested.
no,
It's like this is a perfect encapsulation. It's you invite friends over to your house, and they're good friends, and you have a good time, and it's you're done, and it's like you want them to leave, and they just do not want to leave.
right.
They just want to keep it going, like way, way, way past the amount of time like you've had enough. You know, you're ready to go, like go to.
Or even worse, and this is one of the reasons why I don't like to share a room with anybody. Or even worse, when you got to share a room with a guy that snores, or keeps late hours, or ain't afraid to invite over while you're trying to sleep.
Right.
And and his excuse is, well, we're sharing a room, yeah, but you don't got to wake me up while you're sharing it.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, it's bad when like there's kickouts and people are going, oh, but they're not going, oh, because it's exciting. They're going, oh, because they want the match to end. Like, all right, let's go.
Right.
But even when the match is good.
Well, that's an industry-wide issue in this climate, is that we need to get away from these long, epic matches with 9,000 kickouts and stuff and just get back to basic storytelling and just getting the pops when the pops are there. Because overdoing the pops are just going to exhaust the fans. Like when you give them, 1, 2, when you give them that too many times, they get tired of doing that. There is kind of like a formula there of like when is enough, and good promoters know. When the crowd's right and when the crowd's there, and when you don't have to do, you just do 2 or 3 false finishes and get the big pop on the 4th one, as opposed to doing 10 of them. Yeah. And so it's like, bro, that's just the fact that there is there's kind of like people that buy into that enough, that are fans of that enough that these wrestlers play to those people. Like they play to the artistic impression of the matches. They play to the star ratings. How can we make this 5 stars? How can we make this fit? And they're usually the answer is including more stuff in the matches, including more kickouts, including more false finishes. When the reality is like you see guys go out there that like, when Orange Cassidy can get as big a pop on one of the false finishes as he can do in a spot where just sticks his hand in his pants.
Yeah.
And it's like some guys have figured it out that we don't have to do the 9,000 false finishes, and you need to kind of just get everybody else on the same page, because there's just, like Konnan said, it's just these matches, as epic as you think they are, when it adds up on a show afterwards, if you're giving an honest reaction to show, what's the answer? It's like, show is pretty exhausting.
It was long.
Too long. If that's your answer to the show, instead of like, wow, this show was great, you went too long probably. Because you're getting the honest answers from people, and a lot of people are saying these shows are too long. Well, shorten them up. If you're I mean, already these guys like AEW is already playing to their fan base. Well, even your fan base is saying that, hey, look, some of the diehards in this fan base that like these long matches and kickouts, there's way too many of us that don't. So let's kind of like pull it back. We don't need 26 minutes, for some of these undercard matches. So whatever.
Yeah. Well, like if
would you agree with that? Would you agree with that, Konnan?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like if Tony loved WCW back in the day, just look at a WCW pay-per-view card and the match times. It's like start with a hot cruiserweight match, then an 8-minute mid-card match, then a 10-minute match.
But you got to remember what type of mind you're into. This is a guy who I'm finding out now used to be on message boards, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So he was a super fan, nerd fan, right? This is what
perfect smart mark.
This is right.
On the
this
message boards is right. Yeah.
These are the type of matches him and his ilk, I love that word, like. They like long matches that are really good, but it's like, so do I, but not 8 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Like a long feud that ends in a long match that's really good. That's right. But matches with no feuds that are just these long matches, and you get to the end of the story, and it's like, we could have told this story in 7 minutes, and you took 17. It's like, so,
So that's the type of stuff that the hardcore fans like, and they do have a lot of hardcore fans. At what point are you not a hardcore fan anymore when they're doing that many, right? But they have more of a hardcore edge to them. We'll all agree to that. So his fan base, he caters to his fan base. But I've said this a million times, and it's kind of an oxymoronic statement at that, is like, can you really cater too much to your hardcore fan base? Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are really keeping you afloat no matter what. They're with you. They're ride or dies, right? But I think you can, because it's still a short niche audience that likes a certain thing. You need to go mainstream. You know what I'm saying? And he's got to learn to go, okay, this match doesn't have to be 20 minutes. You can still get a good match. Yeah.
I wonder if they don't realize is that the fact that they're not growing their fan base is probably because of the reasons that we're explaining. It's like, I think
some of them are 1,000%.
Because I think I'm wondering if they think it's like, well, we need more good wrestling.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't really need more good wrestling. You need more matches that mean more, which means you need more character development, and you need less wrestling.
Right.
Because too many of these matches are too long, and they're too long because we don't care about the competitors involved. Because you haven't done enough with the character development, you haven't given them a storyline, and you're giving them 16 minutes because you like their work.
Right,
it's
bro.
like, well, shit,
It's as easy as what I'm about to tell you, and you're going to agree 1,000%, Glenn. Get the characters over, and everything else will fall into place. I guarantee you, bro. That's why Paul Lee was so successful, because all his characters were over. Everybody knew what their character meant. That 911, we knew what he was about. We knew what New Jack was about.
Sandman, Raven, New Jack.
Right. We knew what the Ted Petty Public Enemy was about. We knew what everybody's role was, and they didn't deviate from that. You know what I'm saying? So that's very important.
And if you think about it too, it's like, we always just use
Russo did a good job of that too in WWE.
Well, right. We talk about, like, this is the thing. It's like you talk about, characters, and say, like, it's very easy to say, what was Sandman's character? Well, Sandman's character is like a rowdy drunk that comes to fight with a kendo stick and drinking beer.
Right.
Like, what's Raven's character? He's a grunge guy that his parents hated him and was an outcast growing up.
Hates everybody.
Hates everybody and everything. What is Shane Douglas's character? He's a condescending that was like the star athlete in high school and speaks down to everybody and tells you, it's like, what was Public Enemy? They're a bunch of like street rappers, they come like
happy go lucky,
what was then there's this other like what so then you ask the question let's apply those same basic questions I just asked to characters.
What's Orange Cassidy's character?
It's a guy that doesn't care anything about anything,
right?
Which is kind of like the character. He puts his hands, but doesn't really care. What's Adam Cole's character? Well, he's a cowboy. He likes cowboy music, and he drank a lot, but now he doesn't drink anymore.
Adam Page.
It's like, well, what's Adam Page? Yeah, Adam Page. What's Adam Cole's character?
Like cocky.
Cocky and everything. What's Red? What are the Young Bucks' character? Cocky. But it's like, what are their characters? Well, what defines them? And a lot of these guys are just defined by, they have names next. They have names, and their work is good. And that's kind of the way we judge them.
The problem is they got too many guys, right, that we don't know what their characters are, and they get a lot of TV time, whether it's Jimmy Utah or
Wheeler Utah,
whatever the
Utah.
or Daniel
It's
Garcia.
like I'm still confused. Right.
or
Daniel
like-
Garcia, perfect example. I still am confused at Daniel Garcia.
He's a good wrestler. Yeah, so is
He
everybody else
came
on
in,
the
he's
roster.
with the heel guys from NXT, but
Right.
he's like, what's the, these
Right.
guys he's constantly being talked about as like a major player on a show, and I can't really describe him to anybody. If they're asking
Right.
me, hey, who's Daniel
Right.
Garcia? It's like, well, he's one of the guys. He's in he's in the main event a lot. You know, it's
But
like
there's
okay,
a lot of guys like
right.
that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah. How did
Right.
the Luchasaurus and the other guy hook up? Were they walking in a jungle together? And I mean, like, why? You know, there's a lot. What is Christian doing with them? Why was that never explained? You know, so those type of things are the type of things that hurt them.
Right.
There could be, before we get started, I just wanted to say there could be a change because did you see that Tony's supposed to be booking Ring of Honor as well?
Did you hear this?
So, Ring of Honor has nobody under contract, so now maybe they can take Daniel Garcia and Wheeler and whoever.
Bro, just that doesn't mean that means absolutely nothing. You're gonna take more characters for a guy that doesn't really write character development and sticking him on another show.
Yeah,
bro, they look at Ring of Honor as like a bunch of more programming for more matches to put on TV.
Yeah,
and it's like it doesn't really affect the problem of like, look, dude, it's like wrestling is not growing at the moment. The numbers are kind of have been steady, and not too no shown of real growth in quite a while. And it's like we're trying to say, okay, bro, we need the industry needs to make a push, especially AEW because they have so many freaking talented. They have so many people on their roster that mean nothing. You have to give a push. Like they can invigorate that product if you start doing some good character development with these guys over the course of like the next 3 or 4 months. But they're just going to continue to do these matches 16 minutes, 20 minutes, 18 minutes, 13 minutes. It's like, okay, the guy wins. And it's like, what did that mean? Okay, now he's 17-13. It's like it means absolutely nothing, So I was like, whatever.
Did you watch it?
No, I'm going to watch it tonight. But I read the transcripts.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy this was long. And I looked at
you'll feel that way. You'll get the fatigue, but at the same time.
Well, bro, I got fatigued reading it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you're reading a show and the matches take 5 minutes to read, it's like just imagine how much.
That's why everybody always says, "Hey, do you listen to Cornette?" No, I don't, because I don't want to hear a 7-minute explanation of a match.
He does 16-minute explanations for matches sometimes in angles.
Yeah, it's like that's too
his explanations
much,
are longer than the angles.
Yeah,
you like
people
that's for the match. Yeah.
People say that on the YouTube channel. Oh, how come you guys only talked about Goldberg for 3 minutes when Cornette did 23 or something?
Because that's an audience. If you want to go, if there's people that like that want to listen to 3-hour analysis of a 2-hour show, go ahead and listen to somebody else's channel because that's not us.
Yeah.